everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is Sunabe the Messiah. Today, we're going to talk about the movie Scooby Doo, The Spooky Island Spell. And that movie came out in 2022. So, we got to ask ourselves, what are they trying to tell us? Remember, when you're watching a movie, ask yourself, okay, this is entertaining, but what are they trying to tell me? So, the Spooky Island Spell, which is the Scooby Doo theme, it's an early 2000 fashion. It's a campy monster reveal. But beneath the bubblegum surface, there lies a startling fable. Not about ancient ghosts, but about a very modern form of possession. And this movie was able to capture it. Using literal hypnosis of Spooky Island's guests to mirror the figurative hypnosis of our digital age. It's a story about the bandwagon effect, the terror of exclusion, and the abdication of self, and ultimately where we might find the antidote. So we already know what Scooby-Doo movies are about. They're based off the cartoon where a group of teenagers and a dog, they basically solve clues. And at the end, they get to the bottom of it and they unmask the monster, and it's usually some old person that's been fooling everybody. Kind of like in the movie The Wizard of Oz, when at the end, the wizard, the whole time, just some old white man. But I want to get deeper into that. Our settings is Spooky Island. It's a spring break paradise marketed as the ultimate escape. It's like a vacation for the students. But from the moment these students arrive, a specific transaction is offered. Individuality for belonging. The central mandatory attraction is hypnotic spectacle. Students don't stumble into the spell. They willingly queue for it, unwillingly. They're just thinking that they're going to this island to have a good time, when the truth is, a spell has been put on them. And this brings me to our first and most critical concept, the bandwagon effect in its purest form. And you might ask yourself, what is the bandwagon effect? It is the intoxicating idea that if everyone is doing it, it must be right. It must be fun. The necessary thing to do. So it's like peer pressure. You want to do what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is doing it, and you don't want to feel left out. The student's critical thinking is overridden by a social imperative. Do not miss out. Do not miss this. Do not be the only one who isn't in on the experience. Their anatomy is voluntarily surrendered at the door of the collective. Now, we're going to shift the scenery. The hypnotic light show is our endless refreshing social media feed. Think about that for a second. Think about how the scene of all these teenagers and high schoolers, people in school, they want to connect, they want to be cool, they want to do everything that everybody else is doing to feel validated. Let's connect that to social media. So we're going to shift the scenery. The algorithm is our new spectacle. It's the new trend. It's the new set of rules that you need to be validated. The bandwagon is no longer a physical line, but a digital current. The viral dance, the must-use audio, the trending opinion, the panic bought product. We log on and we willingly queue up our attention. Often we outsource our desires and curiosities to the trend. The question the film begs here is not how does this hypnosis work, but why are we so eager to be hypnotized? Why are we so eager to do whatever for clout, just to get a couple of likes? Why are we, in a way, we're selling our soul digitally? So, to answer that, the film takes us to the root, high school. This flashback, because there was a flashback with Fred, Daphne, and Velma in varsity sweaters looking cool, Shaggy and Scooby framed alone and awkward. So yeah, to answer that, the film takes us to the root of this high school. This flashback isn't just a backstory, it's the film's diagnosis of the primal wound that mass manipulation exploits. Here we see the mechanics of social exclusion and in-group, out-group biases. The original Mystery Incorporated shatters under the weight of social hierarchy. Because remember in the movie, they end up having a big disagreement. Fred wants to have all the shine, and Daphne's like, well,
no way. You can't quit. I was gonna quit in like 2 seconds. And now everyone is gonna totally think that I copied off the smart girl.
Now, wait a minute. Maybe I quit.
it's really us doing this. But see, under all that pressure, I guess Fred believed he was bigger than the program. So their friendship shatters under the weight of social hierarchy. Fred, the natural leader, makes a choice driven by social validation. He prioritizes his status within the popular in-group over his loyalty to the out-group, Shaggy and Scooby. This is a failure of individual moral responsibility for the sake of group acceptance. So that's what a lot of people do. Like, even relationships. If you're dating someone who enjoys the validation that they get from social media, like you have a lover who posts their pictures and everybody's liking it, they're responding, they're enjoying that validation that they get, but you're not happy with that, and that partner, even though that they know that might hurt you, they don't want to stop because they need that. They feel like they need that validation. That validation is more important to you. And is a failure of individual moral, like you know what is moral, responsibility for the sake of the validation from your fans and followers on social media. The spell cast here isn't really magical, because in the movie they're all under a spell. It's social. It's the spell of wanting to be liked, to be seen, to be inside the circle and not outside of it. And also in that, what I just told you, the example that I gave about the lover, your partner, wanting all this validation from the internet, your partner might feel left out. And nobody wants to be left out. So there definitely is a correlation to this. This right here is the unbreakable link to our digital lives. Social media is high school, globalized and permanently in session. Our profiles are our varsity jackets. Our follower counts are our social rank. But remember, I think there's some part of China where they're doing something like a social credit. Could be leading to that. But let's not get carried away right now. Our followers counts as our social rank. The like is the approving nod from the cool kids table. We are in a perpetual state of performing for the in-group curating our lives to avoid the digital cafeteria of exclusion. We self-hypnotize. We edit our realities, silence unpopular thoughts, and amplify trending sentiments, not because we've been mind controlled by a machine, but because we are terrified of the social death of being left out or experiencing FOMO, fear of missing out. The fear of missing out as a permanent condition. Like some people, I can't stay off of social media. Like before I erased my last social media page, I felt like I was missing out. Then I had to think of how stressful it was to argue with a bunch of strangers all day. And I was like, it's not worth it. Having to keep posting constantly, brain cells frying. I just couldn't stay focused, so I had to give that up. But fear of missing out was what kept me from deleting my page in the first place. The high school in the film is the training ground for the mass hypnosis on the island.
And now, to complete the transformation, I shall absorb the pure one.
Now, the film brings us to a most chilling image, the beach, a sea of bodies moving as one. The hypnotized students are the end point of the bandwagon effect, a collective devoid of anatomy, critical thinking, or moral reasoning. That's what social media does. It's a collective devoid of critical thinking and moral reasoning. Like these celebrities, they'll get on there on the internet, they'll argue about celebrities. If you don't like the celebrity that they like, they have a problem with you. If you don't have the same opinion, they mute you, they silence you, they block you, because their mind is void of reasoning, of moral reasoning, because they don't really know that celebrity. They are a hive. There is no dissent, no personal taste, no individual thought. I can't even say, hey, I don't really like this. Oh, you're jealous, you're hating. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you how I feel. No individual thought. They don't want you to have that on social media. Only the rhythm of the spell. This is the logical conclusion of a culture that values trend over truth and consensus over conscience. We see this not in synchronized dancing, but in the digital mobs. We have digital mobs. In the rapid, unquestioning spread of misinformation because it fits a narrative. You can easily crop out a section and make it look like something wasn't said when it actually was said, or make it look like something, and it's not even the full story. So misinformation can be spread so easily on social media because it fits a narrative. And the viral challenges that prioritize views over safety, and the outrage cycles where complex issues are flattering into binary trendy slogans. When the bandwagon becomes a stampede, it tramples nuance, empathy, and individual ethics. The film asks us, what is our collective responsibility when the collective itself has lost its mind? When the spell is so widespread that pointing it out makes you the monster, the outsider, the one who just doesn't get it.
Friend, Velma, welcome to my little end-of-the-world party. I've waited a long time for this moment. Thank you for returning the ultimate party favor, Damon Writers. Now?
So what is the antidote? Scooby Doo, true to his heart, offers a hopeful blueprint. It is found in two places. First, in the immune. Shaggy and Scooby are tainted. Their supposed flaws, their goofiness, their insatiable appetite, their unwavering, simple friendship make them resistant to the spell. They are not concerned with social friendship. They're not concerned with social validation. They represent the authentic, uncurated self in a world demanding you change your essence to fit in. And I also want to talk about how everybody was under a spell. It feels like that in this world when you're trying to wake people up that are clearly asleep in a zombie-like state, can't think for themselves, move as a collective of misled individuals. It's like everybody else is asleep and you're awake. And there are going to be traps and distractions set to keep you from waking everybody else. People are going to turn on you. And that's what it can feel like when you are awake in a world that's full of sleep agents. In a world that's full of sleep sheeple. People who won't research on their own, don't have thoughts of their own. They sound like everybody else. And they don't want to believe that they're in danger because they've been bamboozled. In a world demanding you change your essence to fit in, authenticity becomes a form of armor. They are the film's argument that sometimes not fitting in is the only way to stay free. The second solution in the deliberate ethical reassembly of community, the gang cannot break the spell alone. They must do the hard work, confront their high school trauma, exercise forgiveness, and reactivate their loyalty. They must come together, not as a hive mind, but as a chosen alliance. Fred's strategy, Velma's intellect, Daphne's empathy, Shaggy's heart, and Scooby's courage. Each retains their unique identity, their individual responsibility, and volunteers it for a common moral good. This is the positive model of collective action. Not mindless conformity, but purposeful collaboration. Now, this movie ends, as all good Scooby Doo stories do, with the mask pulled off. The ghost is revealed to be a man with a machine. But the larger revelation is that the real monster was never the monster at all. It was the system that made the hypnosis desirable. It was the social pressure that made us line up for it. Our digital spooky island has no single Mondavarius to unmask. The machine is the platform. The light show is the algorithm. The mask is the illusion that our online conformity is actually self-expression. The film's lesson for us then is this. Be suspicious of the bandwagon. Cherish the parts of you that feel tainted or out of sync. They might be your core. And most importantly, remember that the strongest counter spell to mass hypnosis isn't isolation, it's authentic connection. It's the courage to step away from the beach of the dancing zombies and step away from social media with the online zombies. Find your scattered gang, people that are on your side, and do the slow human work of remembering who you are together. In the end, the only way to solve the mystery of our own participation is to be brave enough and loyal enough to pull the mask off the trends we follow and ask, who benefits from this spell? And more importantly, who do I become under it? Spooky Island is not a prison, it's a curated experience. The mind control here is voluntary and transactional. The students trade their individuality for a manufactured sense of belonging and euphoria. This is the first critical symbol. Modern mind control and opt-in is packaged as entertainment, as a social necessity. You are not forced into the lighthouse's beam. You buy a ticket and stand in line for it. Now translate the lighthouse is pulsating, colorful beam in the endless algorithmic feed. Is TikTok for you page, Instagram Reels, YouTube autoplay. It's a stimulus engineered to override our higher cognition. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for critical thoughts and delay of gratification, and speak directly to the limbic system, the seat of emotion, fear, and desire. The lighthouse doesn't argue, it memorizes. So does the infinite scroll. Both are designed to induce a state of passive reception where choice is an illusion. You are not choosing what to think about. You are consuming what is shown on a loop engineered to hold you there. In a digital area, this is our lifelong conditioning. Before we even encounter the algorithm, we are conditioned in high school of social approval. The platforms then become the ultimate operant conditioning chambers. The like is a positive reinforcement. The shadow ban or lack of engagement is a negative punishment. We are not mind controlled by a single message, but by a billion micro feedback loops that shape our behavior, our self-image, our opinions. We learn to perform the version of ourselves that the system rewards. We become our own lighthouse keepers, shining a beam in on our acceptable parts and leaving the rest in the darkness. And one more thing I would like to add. The students aren't just hypnotized as we think back at the movie. They are hollowed out. Their scrappy souls, their vital, chaotic essence are removed. What's left is a vacant vessel animated by a single overriding command: consume and conform. This isn't just psychology. This is a classic demonic possession symbolism. In folklore, the demon doesn't just control you. It inhabits the void where your will used to be. The authentic self is evicted. A parasitic, impersonal force takes the wheel. And with that, I want to thank you guys. With that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit the notification bell because there's another hot video coming.